Hello, everyone. You know what I forgot to do? Resend out the tweet. We're back. We figured out our tech issues. Knock on wood. Lend us your power. Wiggle your fingers at the screen. We found out it works. Um, we are, of course, the Rolling Nomads. This is Ways of Old, and I am your game master for tonight's campaign, story, chronicle, whatever you'd like to call it. um, we have only one announcement, and that is that we have Uh, we're supporting Gehenna Gaming in their Kickstarter, Eldritch Automata. That is currently live on Kickstarter. The link will go in the chat during the recap. Um, and we'd like you to check it out. If you'd like to know more about the system, we streamed a deep dive into the rules on Wednesday, um, where we got to look at the mechanics and such like that, and really what Eldritch Automata is. And to give you a brief rundown, what it is a mecha TTRPG where you have failed. Well, the world has failed. There's about 2% left of humanity left, just hanging out, being traumatized. And what to do with that trauma? Fight the aliens or creatures, the things called horrors and seraphs of this world. And how do you do that? In giant fuck off machines, as humanity was always meant to do. So, you hop in your mecha, your automata, if you will, and you force the trauma deep down, and you get rid of all your mental illness by ignoring it and jumping in and just fist fighting monsters. And that all comes flooding back whenever you get out of the machine, and it's real neat because they handle mental illness and trauma real well. Where it's not just a roll or anything like that. They literally encourage you, like, hey, you're fucked up. Go seek a therapist. It's real neat. I love it. So if you want to check us out, we're going to be doing their pre-written module adventure called The Dark Passenger every Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday we'll be starting it off, and as I said last Wednesday, we dove into a session 0 where we looked at the mechanics of the such. It is also pronounced automata. I see you in the chat. I swear it is. So that is the only announcement that I have. So let's go ahead and get into what you guys actually came here for and meet our players, shall we?
Hello, and welcome. I am Avery. You can find me on all of the social medias at Golden Gwydion. This evening, I will be playing the bombastic bard, the debonair debutante, the cunning linguist Calamus Acros. You can also find me as literally everyone who doesn't introduce themselves in the beginning of the session on Transylvania Beckons, right here on the Rolling Nomads. And very soon, you will be able to find me as the fuck off financier, Edgar Waite.
Hi, hello, I'm Luna or druidbynight. You can find me at druidbynight on all the social medias, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. Tonight I will be playing Cersei Aveline, Sorcerer Supreme, but also you can find me here on the Rolling Nomads playing Rosalind, the first Premier Prince on Transylvania Beckons, and soon to be the ever mysterious Imogen Lamia on Berlin Bloodlines.
Hello, everybody. I am Azure, or Rachel. You can find me at theazurebutterfly.ttv. I am Prince Juliana Volstadt in Transylvania Beckons, soon to be Maria Russolini in Berlin Bloodlines, and Kim in Eldritch Automata. And tonight I will be Ingrid of Sintra, your favorite Bear Witcher.
Hello. I'm usually as I was on the social medias, because I think I'm funny. And tonight I will be playing I Fire Warning, everybody's favorite criminal. You can also catch me here on Transylvania Beckons playing the Prince of Our Hearts, Jack, Gangrel Prince of, I think it's Sagisera now. We'll see if it survives everything. You should totally check out that stream. And pretty soon you'll be able to catch me on Berlin Bloodlines playing everyone's weird cousin, Adelaide Nagaraja.
We do indeed love our weird cousins. Also, Automata. Uh, the link is in the chat. We really appreciate if you guys check it out. It looks like a really great game. And I'm so glad that you guys are all here. So glad we figured out our tech issues. So, without further ado, before the internet explodes on us, let's jump into tonight's episode of Ways of Old. And we begin each session, as we always do, with a recap. Ingrid, you have returned to us.
Yes, I have. Also, I hope I don't get interrupted because there's some loud noises happening in my place right now. That's all I'll say. Last time, having witnessed the trophy that Relk had won in the game of chance and taking note that the previous owner must have been a monster slayer of a sort, Ingrid made off after the slayer, desiring to have words with them. Noting Ingrid's exit, Calamus and Cersei put on a bit of a show as a distraction while Relg stealthily followed after the Bear Witcher. Not wishing the Slayer to potentially demand their winnings back, Relg leaves the wet bag trophy with Cersei, who herself begins experimenting with it to test the breadth of its magical telepathic properties, sending a message to Ingrid and Relg once they leave the tavern, to a successful effect. Ingrid, having caught up with the Slayer, began to question them about who they might be, introducing herself as a Bear Witcher. From the distance, Relg watches, keeping an eye on Ingrid. Taking note of some of the markings and items that adorn the Slayer, Ingrid realized that they are in fact a Witcher of the Manticore School. Appealing to the Manticore for his help against Renwick, Ingrid questions them further, but they refuse to give their name, and after a brief conversation, they refuse Ingrid's further request for that assistance against Renwick. However, wishing the Witcher luck on their quest before themselves departing. Relg meets Ingrid by the door, and the Bear Witcher details what she learned from the interaction before the pair make their way back inside to rejoin the others. With the menagerie now back together, Ingrid catches everyone up on the Manticore. Discussion of the trophy is had, and with Cersei's alongside Cersei's findings before Relg himself begins to test the limits of the trophy. The group have drinks together, and yeah. On the last bit of their downtime, Cersei and Ingrid continue to train their new abilities, with Cersei learning Seraph Hall and Ingrid with her Fire Stream. All the while, Relg watches in attempt to face his fears and his traumas regarding magic. To little success. Calamus comforts Relg some before revealing his interesting fear of badgers. The gang then continues on their path towards the next artifact, Fate. Following the compass, however, the closer to the Amel Mountains that they reach, the compass begins to jump back and forth in several directions in Cersei's hands. Ingrid tries it to similar effect. Calamus noting that the desire to save Elodie might be playing a factor in this, being so close to Bear Keep. Another possibility being that someone has fate and is moving or blinking around. Taking note of their current location as they continue on their journey towards fate, Cersei notes that they are currently in a danger zone where strange magical occurrences, including freak blizzards and people disappearing, happen. Ingrid also taking note herself of an unnatural chill. No birds chirping, no other noises typical of creatures of the woods to be heard. And it is then that with Ingrid's Witcher training and her teachings to Calamus about monster lore, that the pair of them realize what they are more than likely dealing with. A Vendigo, lovingly nicknamed the Bone Man by the group. With that revelation and what knowledge the group has on the creature, noting its fear of fire, torches were made and fastened to the cart. A discussion then had to what the plan should be as night falls, either continuing on through the night or finding a spot to bunker down and wait till morning. With the latter being decided on, the menagerie find a rocky indent in the mountain to camp at, keeping their backs to the mountainside and using their cart as a pseudo-barrier. As night sets in, they attempt to rest, with the majority of the group sticking close to the wall while Ingrid meditates, taking watch throughout the night by the bonfire at the center of the camp. Cersei and Relg do not get the rest, though, while Calamus sleeps soundly. As the night passes, Ingrid takes note of her medallion vibrating, and she stands to attention, and that something is moving in the night beyond the camp. Casting Igni's fire stream towards the roof, Ingrid illuminates momentarily frightens off a creature that Ingrid recognizes as the Bone Man. This awakens the remainder of the party, Cersei and Relg quickly maintaining the bonfire, while Calamus moves to the cart to check on the food provisions, finding them rotting, more than likely from the creature's sickly claws. With another tremble of her medallion and more sounds of movement then, Ingrid casts Fire Stream once more as a gust of wind attempts to rush past her, hurling towards Relg, catching the Bone Man aflame and beginning combat. The creature screams as it stares into Relg's eyes. Calamus charging in, attempting to pull the Bone Man's attention off Relg, attacking with his new silver dagger. Ingrid chugs a thunderbolt potion she had earlier crafted, one more toxic than usually would be otherwise be. She then charges in, striking the Bone Man with her serpentine blade, hitting him right in the face. Now this close to the creature, Ingrid takes note of another familiar blade already embedded into it. Fate, the very weapon that they had been after. With her second strike, Ingrid slashes at it, carving into its left arm, then attempting to grab the hilt of Fate and pull it free, but to failure, as the Bone Man disengages the party and dashes away. Cersei, taking note of the magical nature of the blizzard that was covering the creature's escape, remembers her own magical training, and in a clutch moment manages to dispel the intense snowstorm, revealing the retreating Bone Man. With the storm lessened, Relg then takes the opportunity to take a still relatively blind shot at the creature, striking it hard in the torso. As the party gives chase, the episode comes to an end, and here we are today.
And that is where we find our heroes now. Wondering, we've had a full round as the creature retreated, but something was revealed to me in our off-screen time. Relg, I believe you said something about a second shot.
Yes, based on our wonky math last time, basically I can spend the 3 stamina to make that an actual attack. And in my notes it says 27 to hit.
As in, this is what your second attack was rolled?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So, with that, set the move properly here. There we are. So with that, a 27 to hit.
Mm-hmm. -3 stamina.
Now, I'm curious, because this was done a little out of order. Did you spend luck on this? I don't recall if you spent all your luck last.
I spent all my luck. Yeah.
All right. As a reminder, your luck refills at the beginning of the next session. So your luck is refilled. Did you roll this at the start of this session?
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember that you had luck?
No, I rarely use it because I have a grand total of 3.
Well, I'll put it to the to your compatriots. This was rolled eagerly. Luck is usually rolled with the roll before you determine the outcome. Do we want to allow this to be added in now, out of understanding, or do we want to hold fast to our rules as written?
I feel like I'm going to be biased on this.
I mean, if luck refills every session,
Yeah.
you know, and the attack was rolled last session, then technically, rules as written, the luck should come back.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, normally this is the part where I have to be the devil's advocate, and normally I do advocate for rules as written. However, in this singular occasion, if we are not going to allow luck to factor into a literal shot in the dark, I don't know what else we can, like, throw luck at, you know what I mean? Like, this is literally the definition of, like, the luck expenditure.
Understood. So, it is the consensus of your team that if you would like to spend luck, you absolutely may. However, I must inform you, the choice is yours. So, truly, Relk, this is a question of, do you think a 27 is enough? Do you feel lucky enough without it?
I saw what happened during our gambling episode. That was damn lucky. So something's gonna bust soon. And you know what? I feel that Rogue would need the luck in this moment. I'm going to timestamp this for later regrets. So yeah, that would be a 30 now.
30. Also, careful, Calamus. That's twice you've argued against rules as written. You're going to lose your status as rules lawyer. So.
You know what? Next time I'm just gonna have to screw myself over.
With a 30.
Mhm.
To his roll of 26. You hit. Let's go to our handy dandy combat flow chart.
Mhm.
We're actually following this time?
Yeah. Truly not a shot in the dark. Or truly not truly a shot in the dark, no aiming for a part.
Mhm.
You've rolled your attack, applied your skills and modifiers. The attack is definitely above the defense.
Mhm.
But it's not a 7 or above, so it's not a crit. But I need you to roll some weapon damage.
All right, that is weapon accuracy +2. Nope, that applies to actually hitting him, not the damage. Okay. So the bow does 6d6 damage. And then I don't add body because it's not melee.
Correct.
So 7. Fif 15. Okay. 2 more rolls. 23.
23.
23.
So now I need to determine body location. I need you to roll me a d10.
I rolled a 6.
6. So let's find out where you hit him.
Do the head, knees, and shoulders dance. Yeah.
It's either torso or right leg.
Left arm.
Oh man. Here I am thinking about got stuff memorized.
Technically you would be right if for a monster damage location. This is this is technically humanoid. Fuck it, we can go right limb. Because there's a separate table for monster damage location. So that gives you. You said what was the damage you rolled?
23.
Nice. Kill it. Kill it. Is this a normal arrow or flaming arrow?
This one's normal. The last one was on fire. The second shot was, fuck it, I'm not
Wait.
dying out here.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt or stop your flow, but wasn't he stunned?
Mhm.
He was stunned.
Oh shit! Clutch memory there, Luna. I
Thank
even
you.
forgot that.
Yeah.
I totally forgot until I remembered last session where we
Let me
screamed
double
about it.
check. Stun, I believe, is going to make his life hell. So I think that we've, in the first 10 minutes of game, already doing things out of order. This one's my bad. As most things are. Stun
Doing
is
great.
all right. So we've done things a little bit out of order. So we're going to backtrack just a little bit. Relg, technically, because he's stunned, you only had to beat a DC 10 to hit him. So that's 20 over.
Yeah,
right?
wait, 27? So 17 over.
So that is
Well, no,
going
you
to...
used your luck,
you rolled a-
right?
30.
Yeah, you had
yes,
30. So
30.
you only had to beat a
So
10, so you've got 20 over.
20.
That is definitely going to be a crit. So right off the bat,
Okay.
he's going to take... Because this is...
And he's on fire.
And he's on fire.
let's see. I'm tracking the fire.
Okay.
He's immediately gonna take 10 damage. Not aimed. So let's look at the table for again rewinding time because this would hit him. Thank you. So this is a crit. Rough. Cool. The one that makes most sense here, given where you are with an arrow and a blind shot in the dark, this is going to be heart damage. Which
Shit. Okay. I mean, we can now see the fire, right?
without a doubt. That and
It's
the
not
winter
as
storm
impressive.
has been dispelled, so you guys he's a bit off in the distance with his run speed. But with this, he's gonna make an immediate death save.
Yeah, that's what heart damage does. We've had
Oh.
that happen before with another enemy.
Live out
Okay.
with the Brooks, though.
Yeah.
So cool.
Look at us learning how to kill monsters and actually doing it.
You guys are doing
Hell yeah,
so
you're doing
good.
great.
Take another piece of my heart now, baby.
I have to add that to Adelaide's playlist.
Imogen needs a playlist. Fuck.
Excellent.
I still haven't done one for Maria yet.
All right. He passes his death save.
Mhm.
However, the
Oh.
wound is bleeding, which is a whole other condition he's got to deal with. So, that is the results of your crit. Let's continue on with your damage, your actual just rolled up damage. Determine location. He needs to, well, he would make another stun save, but he's already stunned. Sweet. You have your damage. Would you like to reroll? It's entirely up to you.
It's okay. We can keep the 23.
Excellent. All right. Let me see. I had. Excellent. All right. Where's my pen? 23.
Math is hard. Math is real hard. I'm so sorry.
So, allow me to walk you guys through what I've been doing in the silence. Multiplied by the hit location. It is reduced by half because of the location that it hit. I'm sorry, with the damage location determined, it wouldn't be cut at all. Subtracted by his stopping power, aka his armor in this moment, and then applied to his health track. Relg, take some narrative control. He had 6 health left after the crit and stuff was applied. You dealt 8 damage after all the math was done.
Ooh.
How would you like to do this?
All right. So, after that flaming arrow of just like, I hope I hit him, and seeing that fire off in the distance and remembering the scream, Rogue draws, makes it right through the trees, just bam, right in the heart.
The arrow itself shrieks through the air as the blizzard is dispelled, knocked to the left and right, seemingly in the perfect location. The last gusts of wind place the arrow right in the heart of this creature. Luck and skill has prevailed today as you hear this unearthly howl, the last death rattle of this creature, as it drops to its knees and then falls forward.
Seeing it fall, Rogue starts booking it towards where the body lays.
Ingrid's gonna follow really closely behind, sword in hand.
Cersei will come.
I think in this moment, Calamus is kind of in shock and is just standing there with the dagger in his hand, just staring as everybody else runs off.
Actually, at that, I think Cersei would start to run, stop, because one, someone should probably stay with the camp, and two, see Calamus in that state. Are you okay? That was a lot.
Cersei. I'm fine. You know, I'm beginning to wonder if recognize other exploits. We just never set our sights high enough. Maybe stealing and charming our way out of situation. Maybe we were just underachieving.
You know,
We were just underachieving.
that's one way to look at it.
I don't think I could have saved him on my own. And now it occurs to me, maybe he didn't need saving. I mean, you saw that.
Did? Rogue's tough. So are you.
Well, let's save that pat on the back for later. Calamus will just kind of shake himself and move back to the cart and start getting all the rotten food out.
I think Cersei would stay. In case.
Understood. As you two have this conversation, Relg and Ingrid rush forward. You head to the body. You're seen.
Rogue.
Okay. Ingrid is going to, first and foremost, before anything is said, anything else is done, she is checking, double checking, triple checking to make sure that this thing is actually dead. And by that, she's going to take Nyoka's Serpentine's silver sword and cut off its head.
You do this.
That was Rogue's main thing. Is he needed it to be dead. He needed it not to be able to do any more damage, to hurt anyone. So seeing Ingrid cut it off.
You see now the creature laid bare, face down, ridiculously tall. The antlers jagged, rigged, unnatural. Don't look like any animal. It just looks like a combination, an amalgamation of deer just grown into one another. It's awful. Its elongated arms and legs, the claws. This was a monster, Relg. Plain and simple. No pretty face like a Brooksa. No compassion like the succubus. A monster. And you killed it.
Ingrid's going to slowly stand. Before anything else, she's going to turn to look to Relg. Relg, what expression would you be holding right now?
Rogue's face, his eyes are just blown wide. He's breathing heavily, like he looks terrified.
Ingrid's going to sheathe the silver sword, and she's going to move up to Relg in that moment. And she's going to say, "You did well. You all did well. Are you okay?"
It's not gonna come back, is it? It's dead. It's dead. We'll
It's-
go back. Like
It's
the vampires
okay.
are.
Hey, look at me. It's dead. It can't come back. But there is one thing I need to check really quick. May I touch you?
Sure.
Ingrid's going to step up very carefully, and she's going to kind of reach up with a hand and very gently cradle Relg's face and start looking him over, because she saw the creature do a stare into his eyes and a scream. And is there anything out of the ordinary that she sees in Relg's eyes or anything on his face?
I want you to roll monster lore if you'd like to recall this, or if you're just inspecting, it's going to be a different roll. So, with this, if you're just inspecting, what exactly are you looking for? Or just anything off, anything strange?
Anything off, anything strange, yes, anything that might indicate that the creature did something to Relg when it was looking into his eyes.
I want you to roll me education.
Can I argue for monster lore on this one?
Sure.
Okay, because I have 0 in education.
As a reminder, you have luck.
You know what? I'll use half my luck on this. So that's 4 luck.
Yeah, as Ingrid's checking over Relg, his eyes are like flicking from the creature back to the camp. He looks kind of impatient.
22.
22. You look Relg over. Ears, eyes, nose. The eyes. As the pupils change, the irises dilate and move to adjust for light. Deep within the black pits are the pupils of Relg. Its face passes from the bottom of the iris upwards as it screams out and fades. 22. Ingrid.
Mhm.
The last vestiges of whatever it did to Relg are gone with its death.
Relg, you see Ingrid's face go from stoic to relieved. And she's going to pat your cheek a little bit before moving her hand down, and she's going to say, "Everything's fine now. Whatever it did to you, or potentially could have done to you, is gone," which is what I was worried about.
So we're good here.
As far as my knowledge and understanding goes, and I think that goes pretty far in this regard, she's going to look back to the creature, kind of give it a little bit of a kick. Where's Fate right now?
In the creature's back. by its shoulder blade.
With it just being right there, she's just gonna say, "Well, at least, what is the saying? Two birds, one stone." She grabs the hilt of fate, putting her booted foot down onto the creature's back as she attempts to pull it free.
It is a beautiful long sword. As you wrench it free from the monster's body, it's strange. It's not coated in blood where the weapon had been buried. It's just clean. It shimmers in the low light from the campfire. It's a beautiful weapon.
Fascinating.
The moment that Ingrid would have let Rogue go, Rogue would have looked at the creature, spit, and took back off at the camp.
You do this? You rejoin your friends?
Rogue makes a beeline for Calamus and just wraps him in his arms. It's dead. It's dead. We checked. Are you okay? Are you alright?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And then Calamus's eyes go wide. Two thought patterns connect. He scrambles back into the cart, opens one of the bottles of wine, and smells it.
Doesn't smell right, Calamus.
Oh. That bastard. I'm gonna kill it again. I'm gonna fucking kill it again. Calamus pulls the dagger out, starts to storm off towards the thing.
Oh, it's probably at that point that Ingrid is already probably dragging the body back in one hand, the head in the other hand, and Fate strapped to her back now. Technically, she has
What?
3 swords on her back right now.
What a horrible creature. What a horrible, horrible thing. What a foul plague and curse upon the existence of man, elf, and eld folk. I'm gonna kill it again. Ingrid, bring it back so I can kill it again.
I don't think that I can. Why would we?
It
We're alive.
spoiled the wine. It spoiled
the food is spoiled.
wine.
Did it not spoil the? Did you say that in character, Luna?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the food is more important than the wine.
No, Ingrid. It isn't.
Ingrid just looks confused, and she's going to say, "I'm going to take this body back to the camp, and I'm going to harvest it. Would you like to watch me so you can see this, or would you like to continue to cry about the wine?"
Right. Well, both, but I have a question for you.
Of course.
We are close to your home.
Yes, about a week's worth, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, depending.
When we were talking about what one has to do before one becomes a Witcher, you were saying things about the mushrooms and things that you would eat as a child. Maybe it wasn't mushrooms. Whatever it was that aided in the mutations.
It was several things. There were different aspects that we had to do. In the moment, I have them in my notes somewhere.
We should try and find them before we leave. At least enough to build up some sort of aid in the process to come. Can we use a piece of this thing in the trial?
Such as a mutagen.
It seems like a powerful thing.
your body is already going to be racked by the trials as they are. I do not think it would be a good idea, at least not in a moment, to incorporate an extra mutation alongside of that. Your chances of survival will drop abysmally low. We can do it separately once you recover. But that is my recommendation.
I don't have the luxury of having a lot of time.
If we do the trial of the grasses on you, you will.
I mean, to prepare for, this life that you live.
Storyteller,
the more we get done in one go.
Storyteller,
at least try.
What does Ingrid know? Because we already talked about what Ingrid knows of the process itself. What does Ingrid know currently about the possibilities of helping boost his chances with this?
It's an interesting way you phrase that question, Ingrid. I would ask that you clarify.
Because he's talking about preparing the body for what's going to be going through. A lot of that in a Witcher training is, while yes, ingesting poisonous things so that you can build up immunities and the like in general, that's not something that usually can be rushed. But a lot of it is also physical training. I'm trying to figure out, do I understand what he's trying to get at with this? And do I know what might be able to assist him, or at least comfort him somewhat? Especially considering, I think all of us at this point know that should Calamus go through the trials, it would be a lot.
Roll me your Witcher training.
That is, Witcher training is 10, intelligence is 7, that's a 17. For 23.
23. It sounds like... So there are several trials, the most famous of them being the Trial of the Grasses. It sounds like what he's asking for is a way to prepare, to help bolster his chances. And you're doing that with the exercise and the training already. But it harkens back to a trial that was the first trial. The very first thing that a Witcher had to do. And ironically named was the choice. It was where they forsook certain foods. They had to adhere to a strict diet. And, of course, the training regimen. They had to prepare everything, inside and out. The choice was made to rely on the barest of foods, the simplest of things. Gone was the life of decadence. Obviously, for the initiates of Witchers, it wasn't too difficult. It wasn't really much of a choice. But for Calamus, it is. So, him upset about the wine, it's really just... It's almost like fate is intervening. You could offer this to him now.
Ingrid's gonna smirk a little bit. And she's just gonna look at him and she's gonna say, "Then I will ask you this one more time. Are you sure this is what you want?"
Calamus, before you answer, there is more weight to this question. You can feel it. There's moments of seriousness with Ingrid, but this feels almost like your final out before you really step on the path. Scene is yours.
Once we begin, there's no going back.
My uncle used to say that the only choices that ever mattered were those that you couldn't undo. So much has happened that I wish that I could undo. But this doesn't just give me time with Relk. Though, or let me be very clear, that is my primary motivation. It lets me help people in a way that I have not been able to. I can sing them songs, I can get them drunk, I can make them forget their woes. And I'm sure I'll retain those skills even after what is to come. I'm tired of watching the people I care for die. Simply put. So yes, this is what I want.
Ingrid's face is stoic through most of what you're saying, but it's when you say that you're tired of watching the people you care for die that there's empathy, even if it's just a little shine of it, and understanding.
I'm also not childish enough to think that becoming a Witcher will prevent that entirely either.
There's never any guarantee in life,
Gives
nor in
me
death.
a hell of a better chance at preventing it, though.
Well, all right.
Calamus will take out the silver dagger and kind of hand it over to Ingrid. Probably going to need a shorter blade to get in there and really get the organs out, I imagine.
She's going to smirk at that, and she's going to start to walk towards the campfire with a follow me kind of nod of her head. And as she's walking, she's going to say, yes, then, as long as you are sure, because, as I said, there's no going back, and you are correct. Those choices, I do not wish to see you regret what you may become, or what you may not become. And I need you to fully understand that even with how much I can prepare you, the higher chance is that you will die during this process.
It can have me when it earns me.
Very well.
I do have one more question, actually. And it surprisingly has just dawned on me now. Is there a chance that if it doesn't work, I'll still survive?
Azure doesn't think so, but
The answer is no.
I was about to say.
This either works or Calamus will have ingested so much things that are toxic to humans that it will kill him. This is Witcher or bust.
Ingrid's going to shake her head, and she's going to say, no. You go through with this and you become a Witcher, or you die. It is what I and all the other Witchers had to go through as well.
Right.
The difference is you actually have a choice with this. I did not.
Right.
Do not take that for
Just
granted.
do me a favor. Don't tell Raug. He hates binary choices.
As a small reminder to where your guys' location is, Calamus, you had marched out. Ingrid, you were coming back. You guys met about halfway. Relg, Cersei, while this conversation is going on, we're going to pause you guys real quick right there. What are you guys up to? They're having a conversation just outside of the camp area. So you could join them if you so choose.
I think Cersei would be gathering the spoiled food into like a trash bag of sorts.
Yeah,
Trash sack.
Trash
Rogue would be
sack.
helping with that. Just, are you doing all right, Cersei?
She'll hesitate. I'm as fine as I can be.
I should have clarified that a little bit better. Physically, are you doing all right?
Oh, no, I'm fine. It didn't touch me.
Good.
Spelling the storm was a little arduous, but other than that.
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, it looked at you.
It looked me directly in my eyes, yeah. And I've looked a lot of things in the eye while I killed him. But they've always been people. Not anything like that.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like that myself.
That does make me feel better. Thank you.
No, I haven't seen a whole lot, actually.
Right, you are, I was away at school, huh?
Yes, I spent half my life at Art Tusa, and then, well, the majority at this point. And then I was a shopkeeper. So I didn't get out much.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, so long ago when we first met.
Yeah. Again, I wish you could have met me then.
Personally, I'm glad we met now. Much better person. Probably should bring it up now. We're out of food.
We are out of food. When they get back, I can discuss how I could remedy this. I have an idea.
I was gonna ask if your magic can. Not that the climate's good right now for it, but maybe grow something or figure out a way to fix the food. Otherwise, we're very fucked.
We are. I think tomorrow morning I can teleport into town and get us some food. As much as I can carry.
I've been hungry before. Don't worry too much about me.
Gotta make sure you eat. Gotta stay strong.
Yeah. Especially given all the training.
Oh yeah. I don't envy you.
I suppose there's worse things. And put to good use.
That's very true.
So figure out food, and then looks like Ingrid found the sword.
Did. That's good. Nice shots, by the way.
I'm gonna say it's the bow.
Doratuza, they would say, the magic is only as strong as the woman behind it. So, I don't think it's the bow.
That's a lot of training. A lot of training.
That,
And
I
luck.
understand.
And luck.
I was always told to be skilled, not lucky.
I have been very unlucky in my life, honestly. Actually, it was a whole ordeal when I was a child. Got
Yeah,
better, though.
Oh, that's good.
Still feels some of the side effects, but not as bad as it was. Had a
Well,
horrible go around with magic.
yeah, I remember you telling me a little about that. I'm
Make it
sorry,
better, though.
Oh, I was about to apologize for, making you upset with it.
Here's the thing: is it's not you that makes me upset about it. You're not the one who made it, so I'm upset when things like that happen.
I understand. You don't have to tell me now, but I'm curious who this was.
A previous employer.
Does this employer have a name?
Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Of course.
Are they gutting that thing?
I thought they'd do it closer to the warmth of the fire, but
We are. No, we've been walking back the entire
Oh,
time. We're
okay.
just like, no, we like, that's why Ingrid was like, Calamus, follow me. We're going to walk and talk. So we were walking and talking the whole time. So,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we should at this point be closing in on a fire, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all rejoined.
Ingrid's going to lay the body down by the bonfire with the head next to it. She's going to take the fate from her back and kind of jam it into the ground, and then the silver dagger that Calamus had handed over, she's going to get on her onto one knee, and then she's going to motion for Calamus to watch as she starts to show him some of the proper methods of cutting and cleaning a monster like this. But as she says that, she's also going to say, while I do this, we're going to talk about the choice, and not the yes or no question that I gave you, but the choice, which is the first true step to becoming a Witcher.
Sure. Yeah. Before we get too deep into that, if you use pieces of a monster in the construction of a weapon, does that change the weapon? Way, you ingest them.
In a weapon, like if you use dragon scale and dragon bone for armor or something along the, or
Like, if you were to use the bone man's antlers for a weapon handle.
would there be any merit to that, storyteller?
Not that you know of, unfortunately. Without Not without a mage's inscription, a rune smith of sorts. You met someone who inscribed runes on weapons and did that sort of thing, but it is possible that you could use monster parts as a weapon and then inscribe them with runes, and it would help bolster the rune, perhaps, or the rune would awaken some latent properties, such as this creature's antlers being used as a dagger. If a rune was inscribed on it, perhaps it could awaken something where if you slash at someone, disease could strike them.
She's just gonna study Calamus for a second, then look down at the creature.
As a
And-
as a summary, essentially, it would take a mage to know that.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. She's gonna say, perhaps, but it would take someone skilled with runes, a mage of a sort, not too dissimilar, to really bring that out. But it's not impossible.
We should keep the antlers then. I think I might like to try it. You know, I'm going to need to have my own sword made someday. Seems like a good start. Good start as any.
Sooner than you think. She's gonna say as she starts carving out the antlers.
Yeah, and Calamus will just aid where they can.
Understood. I need to know, just for mechanic purposes, Ingrid, are you just carving out the answers, or are you harvesting whatever you can?
We're taking as much from the Bone Man as we can feasibly use for our own stock or to sell.
Understood. I'll have a roll for you very shortly. What are the rest of you guys up to while this harvesting is going on? I know Calamus, you seem to be watching and learning, essentially. But doesn't stop conversation, doesn't stop the passage of time. That Ingrid, while you harvest as well, you can take part in conversation. The scene is yours. I'll have a roll for you very shortly.
I'll say that she's detailing while she's doing the carving, she's detailing the choice to Calamus, talking about I'm doing it for brevity because we're doing this for brevity because we already you already went into detail about what it was before. So she's going to talk about shifting your diet, going away from luxurious items, training your body to be able to survive on as little as possible while still maintaining your energy and your strength. And she will say, take the loss of the wine as an example of where you must begin.
Unfortunate, but noted.
For me, it was easy, but I never grew up with any of that. That came later.
You know, I imagine if a Witcher ever came to my family's shop, they would probably offer to sell me.
It is not something that I would wish on anyone. That's all she's going to say on that. She is not delving further.
I think
Still and Cersei with the food and stoking the fire still, because even though there's no longer the Bone Man, it's still cold as fuck.
it's cold as fuck. Yeah.
Oh, if you're stoking the fire, we're right next to it, so you probably hear Ingrid talking to Calamus about the choice and all the dietary shifts he's going to have to do, including the no wine.
Not listening. It's upsetting.
I think when there's a break in conversation, Cersei will, I don't mean to interrupt, but we are out of food.
Right. Calamus did mention something about that during the attack. How far away from the nearest town? storyteller.
So far. To give a... We've got our handy dandy map here. To give a day time frame, it would probably be about 5 days travel, maybe a little less. Your closest opportunities are Ortigor, or Tig.
Distance isn't an issue. I can teleport and come back with as much as I can carry. I can do that multiple times.
Oh, the blinking that you were doing.
Yes.
Is that safe for you to do? For that extended a period of time?
Well, so long as I don't make a show of it, should be.
We are in Nilfgaard.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a part of what I mean.
We might have a few skint days, but the Bone Man couldn't have made everything all over this part of the region die, I don't think. Relg and I can hunt and gather what we can. But a thought did strike me. The two things you were both looking for when we met, we have them.
We do.
We're
Ingrid will
close.
stand up then and pull out Fate and kind of give it a show so that Cersei can look and Ro can see it.
We're close to Han Kaduk. I don't mean to give any breath that would seem to be rushing this sort of thing. But we're already close.
You're saying we should go now?
Didn't say that. I'm just framing the choices we have. I met a dwarvish artisan once who said that we must strike while the iron's hot, and the question is the iron hot?
Do we have a plan?
We have the items
Oh.
we need, but yes, we don't have a plan.
Goals to save Elodie. At least. But that's an end goal, that's not a plan.
We're only going to get one shot at this. I think we all know that. If we fail, he'll move her. And then we'll be back to square one. Or we'll be dead.
And unless Renwick has changed anything, which I doubt, at least not enough significantly, I know the inner workings and secret passageways of Haran Kaduk pretty well.
I'm sorry. A thought occurs to me. I don't have to teleport into Nilfgaard. I can teleport anywhere. I wanted to say that before I forgot. Continue.
That is astounding, actually.
Could you?
How does it work?
Ba, 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 ba.
If you knew where Elodie was, and you teleported into there.
No, I never added it to my spellbook. I need to know. I need to have been there before.
So feasibly, if I knew the spell, which obviously I cannot, I could do it. But would second-hand knowledge of the place work at any as well?
We're gonna find out together.
Because I mean, you've seen it, right? That's when we met. You were screaming because you
So-
saw
in the bath.
where she was.
Seeing one room doesn't necessitate the actual location of said room.
I can't teleport with another person is the problem.
No, but if I give you explicit details, paint you a picture of Heron Kaduk, where that room could have been, that be feasible?
Maybe you could just show her
Right, 'cause if
the
it's
trophy. I mean,
free.
And you see into my
Could you-
memories.
could you use the trophy to show her your memory?
Cersei,
Mm-hmm.
to ease your searching, teleportation allows you to teleport to a known location instantaneously. Doesn't mean you have to have been there. You could do this.
Oh. Actually, I could do that. I just can't take anyone with me or back out.
And you use it to unlock a door.
Yes. The problem is there are Garcane guarding Elodie. There's only so much I can do.
I'm assuming
Against
just like any
vampires.
keep, Heron Kaduk has secret passageways, other ways in and out of the place other than the main entryway.
There are many passageways. There are few evacuation tunnels. The bears were
actually-
not known for their running.
No, but one had to.
So you say?
And there's a specific memory that oh, but this is one I hadn't talked to you about yet because I was banking it. Because the idea was that Aaron forced Ingrid to leave through one of the secret passageways.
As I said, there are not many. There is likely only one or two that you know of.
Yeah.
Cersei?
Yes.
Only another higher vampire can kill another higher vampire, yes?
So they say.
I had other plans for it. You could take that spell jar. Make your own exit. In, out. With enough of a ruckus left behind you to cover your exit.
I shall think for a moment. I think the only problem I have is I know nothing about where they keep the monsters. I wouldn't know to go left, right, through the front door.
You said she was chained to a wall.
Actually, lol, I do know. I saw the room. I'm so stupid.
You saw the room, but you didn't know how to get there.
Right.
Yeah, and it's the dungeon,
Teleport
right?
into that room. Use that spell jar. And get the fuck out.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that specific room is at the core depths of Heron Kaduk.
It is into the mountain.
Yeah.
To say it's part of the core depths of Hankaduk is kind of misleading. It's not
Gotcha.
deep within the mountain. It's into the mountain. There are several chambers. It's difficult to say, Ingrid. You didn't see the location. That and there's not really a lot of there wasn't a lot of just distinguishing features. At risk of borrowing from BTM Dark Ages and just giving away the common sense merit, you could always look again.
Cersei, is there any way that you can look again to get a better idea of where that room is?
I
Because-
need a lunar shard. I can go to Aratuza and get one.
And it sounds like that's what needs to happen. If you can tell me which specific room that she's being held in, I can tell you how to get there. And I do have an option. There is a passageway that I took when I was fleeing Heron Kaduk that we could use to sneak in and out of, potentially. It is not well known. Or it wasn't. The
Mazerol
problem,
said,
the problem is my memory is from years ago. I do not know what Renwick has done and what Renwick has discovered about my home. There is a high chance that we are walking into a slaughter, no matter how prepared we are. We have to understand that risk before doing anything. But I am willing to do this, if this is what we want to do.
tomorrow. Let me go to... Got the fucking town name again, where Aratuza is. There. And get food and the supplies I need.
Are you
We can go
safe
from there.
traveling alone?
I feel safe in my hometown. Well, second home. But I can be conspicuous or inconspicuous.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Even if you didn't feel safe doing it, you would have to be alone for your spell to work.
Correct.
Would it be wise to leave the book with us?
I want to say yes. I also... And she'll stop.
It's
I
what
think
he's
that's-
after.
It is.
You having the thing he's after. And being alone. That is what I mean by an iron being hot.
You could leave it with us. You're only going to be gone for a short while.
Right.
You have the wand that can protect you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think I'll do that. I'll leave it here.
I want to be very clear, I don't like this.
What
You think
choice
I
do we
like this?
have?
We do this right. That's not the word I wanted to use. Any way we look at it, this is going to have to be in, out, and never again. Now, those may have been some of my favorite rendezvous in the past, but I am not very keen for this one. Ingrid, what are the chances we're actually going to have to all go in there?
Cersei, how far can that trophy telepathically reach? How far can your telepathy in general reach?
My telepathy is not far, 10 meters.
The trophy's only 20, if I remember correctly.
The what bag?
Yeah.
That's only about 20. Based on.
Well-
The idea that
Bar.
I have is if we take the secret entrance, the secret way, one of them, with Cersei blinking inside, I could stow myself through there, potentially with the trophy myself, try to get myself as close as possible to where that would be feasible, and keep in contact with Cersei, and should things go wrong, contact you. I don't like this, regardless, because that's
we
still
don't
putting...
Or no, continue.
I was going to say, because that's still putting you in just as much danger, if not more than Elodie already is. And I do not wish to think of what Renwick would do if he had you both.
What if Relg and I could pull this off together?
No.
I don't.
We're just discussing options.
I would not send you into that den without either of us. As skilled and as talented as you are. Let me be fair. You witnessed a weakened higher vampire. We don't know the number of higher vampires that will be at Heron Kaduk. It will not just be Renwick.
We're not actually sure about that, though.
During the party, there were
Yep.
other higher vampires, yes?
About like 6, I think.
As a note, upon fleeing Vizima, the sacking of Vizima took its toll on them as well. There were injuries dealt to both sides. It's something that all just kind of culminated. So there's no telling if there are still 6 or if numbers have dwindled. As a reminder as well, you've also, at Aratuza, put out missives, and the mages were going to be putting out the word that they were going to be paying handsomely for any vampiric deaths to any witchers or monster slayers.
All right. Yeah, that is a thing. Again, we do not know. We only know what we currently know, which is very little.
I have one final idea to propose. With a lot of convincing or favors being exchanged, I could bring somebody who knows a better standing portal. The problem is they won't know where this room is.
Are you considering Aurelia?
If she's not at Glyson Hall, yes.
I would trust her with this, if that's your choice.
I still think Relg and I can get in and out.
There are still the 2 vampires guarding her, though.
Sure.
Yep. And I say this, Cersei, with as much sympathy and empathy as I can. We do not know the condition Elodie is currently in. You may need to carry her.
Our other vampire friend almost said something that would help her,
But he did not, and we do not have that information.
someone might, though.
Have
I
an
think we
idea.
should seriously consider taking a multi-pronged approach to this. Let us be frank. Renwick is the master of these vampires, yes?
Correct.
If we keep him busy with confusion or otherwise, he'll detect it immediately. He'll know anything out of his routine. has to be about her. We have to make everything appear normal. So I think we should watch the routine of this place for a few days, case it, figure out who goes in and out when and why, gather more information. Because, as you said, unfortunately, all of these options are blind, essentially.
I know the
So we can
roads.
stand outside the forge all day and debate whether the iron's hot. We can get our eyes and our faces in the soot and find out for ourselves.
I know the pathways and roads that surround Heron Kaduk as well. There's a few spots that overlook. It will be a hike. It'll be a dangerous one. The Amel Mountains are not something to be scoffed at. But there are ways to get vantage, yes.
We'll need a spyglass. We don't have one.
Can you get one at Aretusa?
Likely.
Always find one along the way.
One more time?
We can always find one along the way, since we're gonna have to take the long way.
Consider this also, Calamus, a test. It is of the Bear Witcher's nature to test initiates on the mountainside.
With all due respect, Ingrid, I don't think I'm going to be a Bear Witcher. This feels different.
Perhaps.
You said it yourself. This is a choice.
It is, but you are also being trained by a Bear Witcher.
And with the sudden defensiveness of her student, we're going to take our break. We will see you all very shortly after we take a brief moment for tech and bio. See you all very, very soon. Welcome back. So while we were having a discussion about the plan, Ingrid, you were harvesting, so let's take care of that, shall we? Now, I usually do this and just let you know what you get. However, because there's nothing you need to roll for the loot of the monsters that's considered easiest to just grab. I'm gonna let you roll these things, alright? I need you to roll me 1d6.
Oh, a D6. I already had a D10 out. Throwing a wild card at me. Yeah, 6. 6.
6. You're gonna gather 6 units of fur. Specifically of the creature's fur.
Okay.
Roll me 2d6.
So 5 and a 1.
You're gonna grab 6 units of Essence of Death.
We have a shit ton of that, though.
You're gonna grab a Vendigo Heart for free. Faux free.
Thank you.
You're gonna grab... Roll me a d6. We're gonna divide that by 2.
I rolled a 4 divided by 2 is 2.
2 units of Crystallized Essence.
Is that good?
No, I'm looking at Essence of Death on our wagon. We don't have any.
Oh,
And the location says found on some monsters. What the fuck, Witcher? Come on.
Wait, did
I wrote that.
Oh,
Yes.
you do know that we have Essence of Death. It's in my inventory. We have 7 things of Essence of Death already in my inventory, plus this 6.
That would have been good to know. I will note down 13.
Ingrid's just gonna give you a lot of shit when I put down the when we put this down. Anyways, let's continue on.
So that's the end of your casual harvesting. I'm going to need you to ask you a question. Do you want something further?
I am stripping this guy down to where there's nothing left.
Roll me Witcher training, please.
If Calamus has something in particular that he wants, do I need to roll a monster lore?
I would like you to,
25.
if you are doing this, then yes, I'd like you to roll me either education or monster lore.
Not bad. Not bad. Not great.
25.
Not horrible. It's an 8 on the dice, plus intelligence, which is 7 for
15.
a 15, plus a 2 for monster lore, 17.
17. What are you hoping for, Calamus?
Calamus will reach into one of their bags really quick, pull out a whetstone and a spoon, sharpen the edge of the spoon, and go for the eyes.
Ingrid's just like, okay, the second that he starts going there.
Excellent. You gather the eyes, Calamus. Ingrid, you harvest the body as you are taking the creature's heart. The vascular system feels different. It's very similar to that of a human's. But its stomach is larger. And that shows in the connections of veins and valves stemming from the heart. The stomach encompasses a large portion of the torso. And you cut to see if there's anything else that might be different. Perhaps out of just curiosity, perhaps out of just passing the time. The stomach of this creature feels different.
We're cutting it open.
Before we do that, Ingrid, and Calamus will just slip the 2 eyes into a vial with some preserving liquid that they have for their alchemical projects. And they'll start producing, like, they'll run back to the cart and their stuff and grab some, like, jars and vials and things. Just be like, there were recipes my father would make. I can't recall what they were, but he would use the bile and the stomach acid of birds, specifically like grass-eating birds and things,
Mm-hmm.
to aid in some of the alchemical process. I don't know. Do you think that that's worth collecting?
I'm curious of what the stomach even consists of in general right now. Look at it. It's much larger than it should be. This creature is mostly humanoid. This looks like, if I'm correct, this looks like a mutated person, right?
Given the previous monster lore and Witcher training rolls, you would know that this did used to be a person.
Yeah. This creature used to be a human. Or some person.
Calamus will just kind of stop for a second. And I think this is the first moment that that possibility has really hit him. Could we have saved his life?
As far as I know. Right, storyteller? No.
It's difficult to say. There are a lot of stories about changing back certain monsters. It's difficult to say with this particular creature what could have been done.
With what I know, I cannot say. Though I do know that some curses could be broken. But this is relatively my first time seeing one of these up close. This is as much experimentation and understanding as it is slaying something that attempted to take our lives and do worse. This will happen as a Witcher. This is something that you must understand. While we know a lot, we don't know everything, and sometimes the options are stacked against us and we cannot help everyone.
I understand killing someone who means to kill you. We've talked about this.
Mhm.
It is murder, but it is not unjustified. I just wonder sometimes. That's all.
Keep that wonder. Never lose sight of it. As long as you also remember that we cannot save everyone. But never lose that part of yourself. That part of you is precious. It values life, and it values what we fight for. The goal of the Witcher is to protect everyone else as best as we can. To slay the monsters and protect those that deserve protection. And I should add that caveat, those that deserve protection.
Let's get to it.
Yep. And she's going to start slicing open the stomach. We're examining this motherfucker.
You begin to slice open the stomach. Your knife cuts cleanly. There's a release of air. Smells putrid. Inside, you find something connected to the walls lining of the interior. It's almost like a tumor. This mass of flesh. It forced the stomach to be full. It forced the stomach to have very little room. Ingrid, go ahead and add to your sheet should you wish to take this. This is the mutagen for this creature.
She will. And the second that she notices that, she's going to point it to Calamus and she's going to say, "This is what you are seeking. This is the mutagen that we would create a potion from, that we would distill a potion from, and to add further change."
How do we keep it fresh? It's quite large.
So is the heart.
Do we make the potion now? Save it for later?
That requires... Well, she looks to Cersei. Could you create a mutagen out of this?
I don't think that's in my skill set.
As a reminder, Ingrid,
Mhm.
one, the mutagen will keep. It is potent. It is the... Some witches argue that it is the core of the monster. But it is not going to spoil until long times from now. As well, you watched Istrid use skills in alchemy to create such a thing.
Alchemy, right, yeah.
You would need an alchemist.
We would need an alchemist, a proper alchemist, to get this created in a potion form. That being said, they do not go bad for quite some time. So we can hold this in a container. The heart of the higher vampire that I took also kept.
I know this is going to be a question very much out of left field for the storyteller, but since I know that we are close to the south of what used to be Sintra, how many days are we from the city of Atra?
City of Atra. Further than Tig. Traveling from here to Atra is going to probably be around a week and a half. However, as an aside, I must ask you a question in kind, Calamus. Is the goal to find an alchemist?
The best alchemist Calamus knows is his father, who still has a shop in Atra.
Well, as a note for you, if you were feeling lucky and or brave, the card is equipped with an alchemy set. It's built into the back. And you are, technically speaking, an alchemist.
How much of this is it going to take to make the potion, Ingrid? Do you know?
Just a small portion, if I remember correctly, right? Like we're gonna have to distill it.
You have found the mutagen. You will need to go through the alchemical process. This entire chunk, that tumor, is the mutagen.
Oh, so it is. Oh, I thought it was of a similar vein of we have to pull out the mutagen like we did with the heart.
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
So we have one
That is
shot at
big.
this.
Yeah.
Correct.
It is possible to do it. But I do want you to understand something. You cannot use this right now. You
No, of course
cannot.
not. I'll die.
Yes. I want you. Your zeal for this is admirable. Just, I wanted to make sure that you weren't intending to ingest this mutagen before you'd even gone through any of the other trials.
No. Preparations must be made.
It will keep for a while. We do have some time. You do not need to worry about that. We can have a container for it, and we can distill the mutagen into the potion that's necessary when we have the comfort and the need for it.
Cersei, my darling, do you think you'll be in Aretusa all of the day tomorrow?
I can be. I have people to talk to.
I'll try it in the morning then. I learned from the best.
I can assist as necessary. Alchemy is a necessary craft of being a witcher. So I have some training in it too, so I can assist.
I appreciate that. Sure, I'll need your particular expertise on this one. My father, he would sell ingredients to a witcher that used to come through. But I've never had any sort of experience in the process that is used making witcher. You said this thing's called a mutagen.
Mutagen, yes. It will mutate you. Take, for instance, my skin. Cersei can attest it was not always this translucent.
Oh, darling, you would still love me if I was ugly, right? What if I were a worm? Do you still love me then?
Not having this conversation.
All right.
Not again. Right. I love you. You're not turning into a worm. It's not happening.
I am.
Unless you really piss off Cersei, the chances of you being a worm are slim to none.
Hold on. Can you turn someone into a worm?
That's a trade secret, Calamus.
I'll tell you one of mine if you tell me one of yours.
You know, yes, I could.
Very well. Fine, I'll just have to make you the perfect bard perfume. Oh no, what a shame.
I don't know what's happening right now, but here, Cersei, this is stuff to add to our stock, and she will hand you the 6 units of fur.
Well, where does the fur go? Like, what substance type is it?
If you just send, it is not a substance. It is just.
It is just fur.
You can just.
We're putting it in the cart.
If you'd kindly just send out a Discord message,
Yeah.
or throw in the OOC chat, we'll sort through the whole of that and find a space for it.
On it. Ingrid's sorting through all this, so.
Fair. So, friends, compatriots, heroes, am I to take it that your evening is going to come to a close? You will rest here for the night and then reconvene in the morning to decide what is best.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, Rogue's gonna make, even though the bone man is gone, Rogue's gonna make sure that fire doesn't go out.
Oh yeah.
Entirely fair.
Do we notice the chill lessons?
Without a doubt, it is June currently. So it wouldn't be too terribly cold. It was the blizzard that was the strange bit. It's not. It is a cold night because it's out in the wilderness, but save for that, by the wilderness and by the mountains. So save for that, it's nice with the campfire. So, with plans loosely figured out, you all rest. You take to sleep. Calamus, what are your thoughts as you drift off? About the day's events, about information gained, lessons learned.
I think Calamus, just with kind of the toe of their boot, will just open the flap to their tent to look at Rogue stoking the fire for a moment. That thing getting so close to Rogue really shook him up, and he's not quite ready to talk about that yet. Because it made him violate one of his own personal accords to himself. Which was, don't play a game if you don't already know you won. Charged in there with hardly better than a silver table butter knife. I think he's starting to reconcile that this journey, he is changing him as much as any other decade of his life did.
Understood. Cersei, what are your final thoughts as you drift off?
I think Cersei is laying down on her side, her hand on the succubus wand, watching it, and just formulating a plan for tomorrow. Go to Artusa, appeal to Margarita, at least for supplies. If Aurelia's there, all the better. And ask the lodge how the Witcher how the contract's been going. And just solidifying the plan, if anything, just to keep the night's events off her mind, because they were frightening.
Indeed. Understood. Ingrid, what are your final thoughts as you drift off?
With all the talk of turning Calamus into a Witcher, of the plans to possibly infiltrate Heron Kaduk, she finds herself in her typical meditative stance on her knees by the bonfire, but not asleep just yet. Her eyes looking at fate stuck in the ground in front of her, examining its intricacies. And then remembering gazing into that reflection of herself in the polished silver of the blade. And that's when she starts to drift back into the memories of her final days with the Bear Witchers, of the atrocities Renwick's done, and her last escape.
Understood. Relk, what are your final thoughts as you drift off?
Ro keeps thinking about ways in, ways out, and realizing that he has no idea about the place we're going. And he's trying to focus on that because every time he doesn't, it goes back to that creature's eyes as it screamed at him. And thinking about what could have happened when Cal jumped in front of him. About everything he's gained and everything he could lose now. Everything that's on the line. Thinking about how he would feel in Cersei's place with Elodie.
Understood. Today's events have been difficult for all of you. You have what you need finally. You are, for all intents and purposes, prepared. But sleep does not grant peace. Calamus, you dream. Your whole family is there. Your father telling stories. Eldest sister smiles and puts her arm around your shoulders, pulling you in. Taking something from your hand, you see that it is a wine bottle. She takes a sip and spits it out. You hear Sarah say, "How can you even drink this?"
My dear sister, with much, much practice.
Keep your swill then, Lloyd.
Come on, Sarah, it's not that bad. Remember that? Remember that bottle go fade when brought to the harvest festival.
Don't bother about that. He's not supposed to. We weren't supposed to be there.
He'll find out eventually. He always does.
You can see him telling stories to your younger siblings. You see Yoren and Tyrene. Everyone's here. Being friends you've met along the way. See Relg and Cersei and Ingrid, all gathered listening to your father, likely telling a few embarrassing tales amidst his war stories. The danger will pass. The White Flame. There's been villainy like his in the past. And it's simple men. Good, simple men that win the wars. Fight for better causes. You see another figure come up and clap him on the shoulder. Says, "I couldn't agree more. It's Mousesack." Everyone's here. This campsite in the forest. Stars are gleaming overhead. It's peaceful. Everyone's here. And that's the problem. Everyone's here. All that
Think
you
that it's-
love here in one place, Lloyd. Continue.
I think that it's in those moments where a few things click at once. Of course, it's a pleasant dream. But this is the version of Lloyd's father he wish he had. The one who stood up for what he believed in and didn't hide. The one who didn't put off making that run to Sintra to deliver Mouse Sack his supplies that maybe could have got him out. One where Relg got to see his family happy. One where Ingrid and Sarah can bond over feeling of strange responsibility for a wayward young bard. A time where Cersei could enjoy being an older sister. Calamus is very sure Yoren would attach himself to Cersei pretty hard. They both have that kind of mind, you know, kind that seeks solutions, but never at the cost of someone else. It's in that moment that he'll kind of just lean his shoulder into Sarah. I wish we could stay here. I really do.
And it's met with a voice, Calamus. It's going to be all right, Lloyd. We're all here now. She puts an arm around you that is far too long, draping fingers around you with nails that are far too long. She leans her head against yours with a skull that is far too pointed. I'm here for you, Lloyd. Calamus. Bard. Here for all of them.
Do we have a moment to talk plainly?
In a blank, Calamus. Everyone's gone. Still there, but gone. Except for Relk. Sitting as if nothing's wrong by the fire. What would you like to do, Calamus?
Just pinch himself very quickly. Just make sure he is awake.
And pinch yourself. Roll me a single d10. It changes.
Did he feel it?
Not really.
Guess I can't even get you out of my dreams properly.
Not until you've seen what could be. This creature moves its arm from you and rises. And you see the same creature that died at Relg's hand today take a step and another, moving toward him.
I've heard so many tales about you. You're him, right?
It's a sound like breaking bark as the creature laughs. Always quick to blame the villain. I'm you. I'm your ability, or your inability to act. Your inability to succeed. I'm your weakness. I'm what you're always going to be. And it reaches down, and it snaps Relg's neck, leaving the body crumpled onto the floor, and it faces you. You see your own face with antlers atop the creature's frame. But it's not exactly you, Calamus. It's a younger version. It's Lloyd.
You do love theatrics, don't you? I do too. I can't blame you. You said you're me and my inability to make a choice, so you must be a reflection of my love for drama. I also love a good bit of honest truth every now and again. So why don't we go
Think
Did we lose
Avery?
Avery?
We may have.
I think we lost both Avery and Relg.
Yeah, they're being very still. We will.
That's unnerving.
That is horrifying. We will be right back after a brief
Hey,
break.
Hey, Gilbert, how does it feel having the nightmare turned on you?
'Twas me, I am the fool. We shall be right back. Hey everyone, this is Mid-Edit Ramos the Nomad here. So, spoiler alert, we didn't get our 2 players back due to the storms and everything that was going on in the US. So the outro sequence you're about to see is just our Discord call. We had to cut the overlay because we were all out of sync and all out of order. So we didn't want to just be a quarter in the screens and a half in the screens and so on and so forth. So we decided to just call it there rather than wait 45 minutes for the internet to come back. But we did record an outro for you guys. Unfortunately, the ending for this episode did get cut. So it will continue into next Monday, and we'll continue our adventure from there. We hope that we see you then, and we thank you for giving us the due credit and watching the outro. Or if you don't, that's your choice too. We appreciate it either way. But we will see you guys all next Monday. Thank you so much for understanding. Hello. All right. So this is obviously not our overlay, not our normal screens. We've had some internet issues and some power outages, likely given the storms throughout the US currently, so we're gonna go ahead and call it the night. It's a little bit of an awkward ending, but Rather than just continue on without 2 of our players, we're going to go ahead and call it here. We'll pick up next week. So we really appreciate you guys watching. We'll go and grab the 2 for socials and stuff that we have. And then we'll go ahead and get out of your guys' hair. So let's go ahead and start us off with Ingrid.
Hello, everybody. I am Azure or Rachel. You can find me over at theazurebutterfly.ttv. I am also the creative director here at the Rolling Nomads. I have my show Azure Storytelling Studio. I also am Ingrid of Sintra here on Wisher Ways of Old, Prince Juliana Volstadt on Transylvania Beckons, soon to be Maria Russellini on Berlin Bloodlines, and Kristen Kim on Eldritch Automata. And yeah, that's me in a handbasket.
Hello, I'm Luna or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. I am the social media director over on Rolling Nomads, so all those TikToks and tweets, that's me. Tonight I have been Cersei Aveline, Sorceress Supreme. I also play Prince Rosalind, the first Tremere Prince, on Transfaded Beckons. And I will be Rodriguez on Eldritch Automata. And...
Not Automata?
No, you said Automata.
Did I say Automata? I thought I
You
said
did say
Automata this
Automata.
time. Oh.
And Imogen Lammy on Berlin Bloodlines. So yeah, that's me in a handbasket.
Excellent, thank you so much. And then I'll go ahead and throw in the shout-outs for our missing members as well.
As _I_was.
On all of their socials. I know that Avery is at Golden Gwydion on most of the socials. You can find both these individuals here on Transylvania Beckons on Tuesdays, as well as Berlin Bloodlines coming very, very soon. Unfortunately, I don't know everyone's socials by heart, so that's a failure on my part. That'll be in the YouTube description. But we really appreciate you guys a whole bunch. We're going to go ahead and get out of here before internet takes our stuff. So we have been the Rolling Nomads, twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads. Best way to keep up to date with us is over on our Twitter and our Blue Sky. Our Twitter is at _Rolling Nomads. Our Blue Sky is at Rolling Nomads. And that's where you'll find our announcements, our cancellations, our late starts, nonsense like this, with the internet issues and such. Yeah, that's the best way to keep up to date with us news-wise. These episodes get uploaded to YouTube 4 days after their Twitch air date, which this one will have a little pin for a little tacked on video of myself just kind of explaining the situation, since it was a little bit of an awkward ending. But we'll pick up next week, and you can check us out over on TikTok at _Rolling Nomads for clips, highlights, special key moments and such from our streams that you might find enjoyable. Head on over there if you might find something you didn't know you enjoy. So that's us in a handbasket. We're gonna go ahead and get out of your guys' hair again before the internet takes the rest of us. So we will see you guys next time, same place, same heroes. We'll see you then.